Hello everyone. In Human Genome Project, we'll be discussing about large insert vectors and hybrid cells. So we have discussed how the DNA is isolated, genomic DNA is isolated or cDNA is isolated, and these DNA are based upon their size, they are cloned in different vectors. And we have already discussed about plasmid vectors and how they are maintained and how the library is created for sequencing purpose. But human DNA was so huge that if we are only working with plasmid DNA as vectors, it was not possible to come up with complete sequence of human genome. So large insert vectors, they were developed for human genome sequencing projects. And another problem with human DNA was it contains highly repetitive DNA. So we have already discussed that majority of this highly repetitive DNA is not yet sequenced because it is very difficult to come up with the correct sequence of the repetitive DNA. So when it is propagated at high copy number in bacterial cells, there are issues with inserted DNA because these inserted DNA with highly repetitive DNA, there are possibilities that it becomes unstable and it is prone for rearrangement. We have already discussed about some problems with shotgun DNA approach when we have talked about repetitive DNA sequences. So they are prone for rearrangements or deletion of foreign DNA, which will actually affect the ultimate sequence. So when we read the ultimate sequence data, it will affect the ultimate sequence and for physical mapping purpose. So plasmid and phage vectors were developed with low copy number replicons because high copy number replicons have these problems. So one of the important vector which was useful in human genome sequencing was bacterial artificial chromosome. In short, it is referred to as BAC. So the F vector, which is fertility plasmid of E. coli with two genes as PAR A and PAR B, it maintains high copy number. It maintains copy number at 1 or 2 per E. coli cell. So these are PAR A, PAR B. We can call them as F vector. So this maintain copy number to very low. And plasmid vectors based on F vector, they can accept large foreign DNA up to 300 kb. And the resultant recombinant vector can be transferred into bacterial cell with high efficiency using electroporation. And these are bacterial artificial chromosomes. So they are larger but smaller than bacterial chromosome. So they are larger than plasmid but they are smaller than bacterial chromosomes. And they are low copy number replicon. So yield of recombinant DNA would be low. But insert stability is very high. So that is very important when we are talking about mapping, because if the insert is not stable, it will lead to problems in the data which is coming after sequencing and cutting assembly. So insert stability is important because this insert stability problem was encountered in yeast artificial chromosome. We shall be discussing about it. Yeast artificial chromosome had problem with insert stability. Because of that, more reliable vectors were bacterial artificial chromosomes. And cosmid with F vector was another vector which was low copy number vector and was referred to as phosmid vector. So here this bacterial artificial chromosome will have F vector, will have ORI, and will have Rep-E. So it will have Rep-E for plasmid replication and regulation of copy number. PAR A and PAR B, which is F vector, selectable marker can be antibiotic resistance, and T7 and SP6 phage promoter for transcription of inserted gene, and ORI-S for origin of replication. So here we can see this is foreign DNA, this is plasmid. So this can be cloned in the foreign DNA, this plasmid vector, the foreign DNA can be cloned. So this is foreign DNA present in the plasmid vector. After transformation, it will come in the bacterial cell. And here we can see the colonies. So we have blue and white colonies. We discussed in the previous lecture that these colonies can be used for in grid colonies. These colonies can be re-inoculated in the grid colonies with appropriate numbering, and then they can be inoculated in particular LB medium and processed for sequencing. Now here we have phage as a vector. So partial digestion of high molecular weight DNA to give 30 to 40 kb. Here we have ligation. In the packaging of phage is higher than infect E. coli cell. So we will see wherever there is clearance of the E. coli colonies or the presence of plaque, that means the phage is present and we can process for sequencing of these bacteriophage vectors as well. Now, yeast artificial chromosomes. So for cloning extremely large DNA fragments, artificial chromosomes were used, and for propagation in Saccharomyces cerevisiae it required 3 short sequences, each at few hundred base pairs, so that it would behave as chromosome in yeast. So centromeres were essential part. Centromeres were required for disjunction of sister chromatids in mitosis and during meiosis for disjunction of homologous chromosomes. Telomeres were required for complete replication of linear DNA molecule and for protection of ends of the chromosome. And autonomous replicating sequence, or ARS, they were needed for autonomous replication of the chromosomal DNA. So 3 essential elements were part of the YAC. These were centromeres, 2 telomeres, because 2 telomeres at each end, 1 centromere and 1 ARS element. And telomere sequences could be correctly positioned at the termini. YACs are transferred in each cell whose external cell wall was removed. It is they are used for transfer of YACs. These are referred to as spheroplast. And spheroplasts, they can accept foreign DNA but are osmotically unstable, so transformation efficiency is low, but their cloning capacity can be up to 2 MB. So this made YACs a vital tool for physical mapping of the genome. And we can see all these elements are present in this YAC clone. So YAC was also used for cloning and sequencing of human genome. And these single YACs, when the inserts in single YACs can be processed for hierarchical shotgun sequencing approach. Now, apart from these, because these were used for cloning purposes, but for coming up with mapping data and linkage analysis, it was essentially important to develop something, because in humans, pedigree analysis of multiple generation, large multi-generation families was a big problem. And another problem was to see the disease inheritance pattern. So all those things were very difficult. So another kind of large insert things were developed, which were referred to as radiation hybrids and somatic cell hybrids. So here we can see this is a human chromosome. It was irradiated with high dose of X-ray and was low dose of X-ray. So fragmentation pattern will differ when we use high and low dose. So this becomes fragmented human chromosome, and then it is fused with hamster nucleus. So hamster nucleus retains complete chromosomes of hamster, but use some of the DNA from human. So these fragmented DNA, they are put up in the hamster nucleus. So these are referred to as hybrid nucleus. So human chromosome fragments are represented in hamster. So these are radiation hybrids, as we discussed. It can be low dose or high dose of X-ray, and then we come up with panel of radiation hybrids. So each panel will have different DNA representation from humans. Some will have some representation of human chromosome, some other radiation hybrid will have some other representation of human chromosome, this will have some other representation of human chromosome, this will have some other representation of human chromosome. So these all will have different human chromosomes in them, different fragments of human chromosome. Somatic cell hybrid can be developed by fusion of human cell with hamster cell, resulting in heterokaryon. Finally, then fusion occurs and there is selective loss of human chromosome, and the loss is random. So only a few human chromosomes are represented, but it has complete set of rodent chromosome. So these in 1975, Henry Harris and Stephen Gauss used radiation to induce breakage in the human chromosome present in the hybrid cell to divide a given chromosome into small fragments, most of which were subsequently lost, which permitted localization of genes to small chromosomal regions. And David Cobbs adapted the same principle to develop radiation hybrid mapping, in which human cells were strongly irradiated and then fused to rodent cell line using standard somatic cell hybridization techniques. So approximately 100 hybrid cell lines would contain the whole human genome arranged as random fragments which overlapped each other. And if two genes in these, what happens is, if the two genes, they are very adjacent to each other, it is very likely that they would be carried on the same fragment. So it's the same thing as we do in the genetic mapping. If the two genes are very close to each other, so there is a high possibility that they will not be separated in the process of crossing over. So likewise here also, if the two genes are very closely located on the chromosome, so there is a rare possibility that radiation would fragment these the genes or these loci, so they will be present in the same radiation hybrid rather than being present in different radiation hybrids. So greater is the distance between the two genes, then the lower is the likelihood that they would be present in the same hybrid. So the procedure is almost same as meiotic recombination mapping, in which the frequency of radiation induced breaks occurring between two genes is direct function of distance between them, and the segregation frequency will again vary between 0 to 1. 0 means two markers are never separated, that means they are closely linked, and 1 means the two markers are always broken apart and therefore they are unlinked. Therefore we will have number of hybrids representing different parts of human chromosomes but complete mouse chromosome, and these different hybrid cells are panels of hybrid cell. We would like to identify that a small sequence that we have that will belong to which chromosome, and where we can find a bigger representation of the same part of chromosome. So identification of the human chromosome present in these panel of radiation hybrid, it can be done in two ways. Either these cells can be typed by a PCR. So let's say we are trying to find out that where this particular X sequence is present. So we can use primer specific for X and type all of these. So whatever cell will come up will give the positive for X, that means X is present in these particular cell, or we can proceed with Southern hybridization. So whatever cell would give positive result, that means that cell will be having that X and will have the representation of that particular chromosome. So this is a physical mapping technique, and it generates a high resolution map of the genome. Now here we see the same thing, like we are typing these radiation hybrids for STS1. So let's say our radiation hybrid 1 gave negative result, 2 gave positive, 3 gave positive, and 5 gave positive. That means let's say STS1 belongs to chromosome number 1. So that means the sequence of chromosome number 1 is represented in these hybrid. So STS2, if we know the chromosomal location, because STS are essentially they require the sequence information. So typing with these STS will help us identify which radiation hybrid contains which kind of STS. So radiation hybrid mapping is a method of high resolution mapping. It exploits the ability of hamster cell to stably incorporate genetic material, and panel are created by breaking the chromosome of interest or whole genome into several fragments by high X-ray irradiation and using PCR to screen these. And like we are trying to establish which radiation hybrid contains STS 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So we can type these with the help of PCR. And major effort utilizing radiation hybrid mapping has provided a good framework for integrating the positions of the genes with respect to the genetic linkage map. And human radiation hybrid allow the development of a type of linkage map that was based on whether any specific segment of DNA, like here we see, any specific segment of DNA from an irradiated human donor has been retained in the cross species somatic cell hybrid or radiation hybrid. In these maps, the distance between marker is measured in centirays, where for each unit there is 1% probability of X-ray induced breakage for a specific dosage in rats. These maps include genes as well and anonymous sequences including microsatellite. The result of consortium of many investigators allowed the relative ordering of several thousand genes, ESTs and other sequence tagged site, including the polymorphic microsatellite used in genetic linkage maps. Therefore, it was possible to determine a probable range of the markers position with respect to ESTs, and they were extremely useful in searching for candidate ESTs for human diseases. Now, most radiation hybrid mapping results the high confidence grouping bins in which relative order is 1000-fold more likely than other orders, and which correspond to approximately 10 centimorgans range of meiotic recombination. So again the same possibility, if the genes are apart, there is more possibility that they will go in the separate radiation hybrid. So like we see STS1 is present in RH2, 2 is present, 3 is present, 4 is present. Now in RH3 we see only STS1. So it indicates that, and 2, 3 are present in radiation hybrid 4. That means if they are getting separated by radiation hybrid cells, that means they are placed far apart on the human chromosome and they will not be linked. So these kind of information was obtained by using radiation hybrid cell, and these are some of the sites which have the information for radiation hybrid cell. So this is how they are typed by using PCR. So when we are trying to type these cells with the help of PCR, so we type using a specific PCR. So if the marker is present, we will get a positive signal, and if the marker is not present, we will not get a positive signal. So radiation hybrid were very highly useful for genetic mapping on the mapping of the different genes present on different genes, different ESTs, different STS present on a particular radiation hybrid. Again, taking the assumption that if they are located close to each other, they will be retained on the same hybrid cell. We also saw in the previous example that if they are very close to each other, there is high possibility that they will be retained on the same radiation hybrid, and if they are further apart, they will be retained on different hybrid. And then this can be confirmed by the physical mapping part. So once we come up with these radiation hybrid data, it can be verified by using physical mapping data that we have come up with the correct sequence information or not. This is a selected reading for this part of text.